It's physically really challenging, it's mentally really challenging, and you got to stay warm as well. So those three aspects to it, when you put those all together, it's a really full-on experience. I'm 41 now, and the experiences that I've had, wilder than I could ever possibly imagined. You never know how long you've got, and for me, making the most of every single day is absolutely essential. You have to. This is your life. This is what you've got available to you. If you can go out and have fun and share adventures with your friends and have new experiences that you've not had before, for me, this is the most important. If you can do that, you're on the right path. My name's Tim Emmett. I'm from the UK. Now I live in Canada, and I'm an ice climber. Ice climbing is climbing frozen water using ice axes and crampons. There are different disciplines to ice climbing in the respect that you can climb on ice only, or you can climb across rock to get to ice, and sometimes you'll have rock that has small pieces of ice on it, so you place your ice axes on the ice, sometimes on the rock, or sometimes on both at the same time. The competition ice climbs, they are manufactured structures. They're very steep, really overhanging, and the challenge is to get to the top. And it's designed to be very challenging, like very difficult. And the higher you go, the harder it gets. So the person that gets the highest wins. Right here where we are, in Alberta, in Canada, it's really popular here. Like, lots and lots of people go ice climbing in this town. I was born in London, in England, and now I live in Squamish in Canada on the west coast because it's the coolest place in the world. Yeah, it's awesome. The reason why I love Squamish so much is because it's a really beautiful place, it's a really cool community, and it's got 4 sports that are world class: mountain biking, climbing, skiing, and kayaking. Yeah, it's amazing. If you've ever seen an amazing picture of a mountain view in Canada, that's the Canadian Rockies. It's that quintessential aquamarine lake with, you know, really blue water with a snowy glacial backdrop in a very dramatic setting. That's where we are. We're in Canada, in Alberta, in a place called the Ghost River. And it's the best climbing area because it's got the coolest waterfalls and it's got the longest winter climbing period. The ice comes in much earlier than any other place in the world that I know of that's got access like this. It's amazing. I started rock climbing when I was 15 at school. And then I started ice climbing when I was at university. And the reason why was because I lived in North Wales, in the mountains there, and in the winter you couldn't go rock climbing outside because it was too cold and wet and there was snow on the mountains. And I wanted to experience what it would be like to go ice climbing. And when you're surrounded by big cliffs that are covered in snow and you've got this ice climbing equipment that you've never used before and you don't know what it's going to be like, the only way that you can find out is to try it. So I went into the mountains when I was like 19. It was great, man. It was really cool. It felt like an adventure. We're going to a place called the Good, the Bad and the Ugly, and it's a pretty adventurous drive to get there. We've got to cross a number of rivers, but it's one of the first places to come into condition. It's quite close to where we can park the vehicle. It's been really warm this autumn, and ice has come into condition a lot later than usual, and we know that this is climbable, and it's got some steep to overhanging sections on it, and it's about 50 meters high, so I think it's ideal for what we want to do. The best place to find ice is for sure in Canada. Like in the Canadian Rockies, it's much colder there than most other places in the world. This is my friend Jen, and she's going to hold my ropes so that if I were to fall off, she can stop me hitting the ground, which would be pretty sweet. So yeah, let's do it. Yeah. Cool. So this is my ice climbing harness. I have different harnesses for different styles of climbing. So I have one for rock climbing, one for ice climbing, one for mountaineering.
And this one's really good because it's got clips on the side that I can put my ice screws onto, so I can take them off easily, put them into the ice, and then clip my rope. The key with these things is you really want to make sure they're sharp, because if they're blunt, and then they don't grip in the ice, they need to be really, really sharp. Look at that little guy. And then the silver ones are really long, so they go in the furthest. They're the most secure. So I'm going to rack those on the side of here. So yeah, these are my weapons of choice. These are my ice axes. And these are like 2015. This is like as far as ice axe technology's got to. They've got two handles, one for one hand, one for the other, which is great because it means that you can climb without leashes. I haven't used leashes that you normally attach to your arms for like 10 years. A lot of people still use them, but I much prefer the freedom of being able to just let go, and then maybe you can get your gear off the side. You don't have to disconnect your leash. Yeah, they're designed to fit around the ice mushrooms, and you know, you want to drive first-time placements into the ice because that saves lots of energy. If you smash the ice in the wrong place, it just breaks, and then you hit it again and it'll break again, and it'll keep breaking until you hit it in the right place. You know, it's really delicate, actually. Like, sometimes you can have daggers that are like 50 foot long that come off. Yeah, it's fragile. And it makes ice climbing quite an adventurous game because it's a lot more psychological than purely physical. So you want to make sure you get the right kit, you know, like don't get cheap climbing equipment. It's not good for you. It's not good for your health. Falling off when you're ice climbing is a really bad idea. It just doesn't, it's not something that should happen ever, to be honest.
Just before I start climbing, the first thing that goes through my mind is check, 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 check. You know, am I tied on properly? Is my knot done? You know, have I got everything I need? Am I picked sharp? Are my crampons on properly? Are my boots done up? Like, am I wearing the right clothes? Have I got the right gloves for this? Is my helmet done up correctly? Is it tight? It's not going to move around. Have I got all my quick draws in the right place? Do I have everything I need? Ice climbing in the Canadian Rockies is unique because usually you're really far away from anyone. You know, you're far away from lifts, you're far away from a road. You are absolutely alone. It's you and your friend and the ice. That is it. There's no one else. So if you have a problem, you have to organize a way of overcoming the problem. One of the big differences with ice climbing and rock climbing is that usually when you go rock climbing, you walk for 20 minutes to get to the cliff and you climb during the day and then you leave during the day. But with ice climbing, it's much more challenging to get to the destination that you want to climb at. It's like a race against time because you want to get to the top before you get tired, but you want to make sure that every single ice axe placement and every single foot placement is good enough so that it doesn't break and your foot doesn't slip or your pick doesn't pull. And in fact, when I was climbing the Good, the Bad, the Ugly, there were 2 times when the ice broke. My foot came away from the ice, so the weight came onto my ice axes. It probably looks scarier than it is. It's not that scary because I feel very secure. Biggest achievement in this sport is climbing to the top of Helmcken Falls. Helmcken Falls is this cave in Canada which overhangs by 500 feet and it's got spray ice on it. And we spent 3 years trying to get to the top of this thing, and we climbed a climb called Spray on Top, which is 245 meters. And it's a bit like, imagine a 75-story building and lean it at 45 degrees and spray it with water so that it's got a layer of ice on it, and then climb up the underside of this. That's what it's like. Ice climbing is dangerous, man. Like, it doesn't matter how you look at it. You know, you've got all these different sharp objects that you're climbing with and putting in protection. You're really focusing on not falling off while you're climbing. So when you get to the top, you know that you've done a good job and you're safe, and it's exhilarating. You've got lots of adrenaline flowing around your blood, and yeah, you feel like you've really, yeah, it's exciting, man, it is. But if I'm gonna do a climb, which is at my physical limit, and if I fall off, I'm gonna hurt myself or even die, what I usually do is shut my eyes at the bottom. It is a Zen-like state, you know, like climbing really takes you to a place where you're not thinking about anything else apart from what you're doing right now. It's totally in the moment, you know, it condenses all your thoughts into the present. When I make it safely to the top, it's a very euphoric feeling in the respect that, you know, sort of achieved my dreams.
Pretty psyched about that. Such a sweet line. So good. I love ice climbing. It takes you to amazing places like this. I mean, check it out. Look where we are. Totally rad ice cave. Sweet.
I think my dream is to still be able to do the things that I do without dying. You know, I've got a family, I've got a 2-year-old son, and I want to grow up with him. So I think my dream is to still be able to do what I do and also, you know, grow up with my kid and, you know, help him to do really cool stuff too, you know.
Watch out for ice, Jan.